tired. I have had it up to here with all the lies that have been going around about the RV industry. And it's not just on the over positive side, it's also on the over negative side, and it's also some of the lies that are just pulled out of thin air. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to HVRV Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm the host, John Levingston, known as the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as some other things. Well, first off, I'm doing this live because I tried recording it earlier today and it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. It really wasn't. I just saw so many just a lot of interruptions were going on. So I'm like, you know what? Today I'm in the fifth wheel. I'm about to rip up the rest of the carpet. Let's live stream this real quick. So the first biggest lie that is being spread around, and it's intensifying. This is an intensifying lie that is going around about the RV industry, is that COVID built units or anything built after COVID is worse built than anything prior. That is a lie. That is a complete fabrication to get clicks, to get views, to get attention. Like Lil Wayne says, I went to pay attention, but attention paid me. Now, where this is coming from is very simple. What was going on during COVID was they were sending incomplete units out. They weren't worse built. They were sending units incomplete. Now, I sold a lot of Cherokee Grey Wolves and Wolf Pups during the whole COVID lockdown scenario. And again, John Quake's going to kick my butt. Doug Gettard's probably going to kick my butt a little bit for saying this. But the reality is they were sending units without air conditioners, without breaker boxes, without fuse panels. I mean, they would build the walls, put the windows, and ship the damn thing. And then it was up to the dealer to finish it with putting all the appliances in. I had Forest River Cardinals, Keystone Springdales. I had Genesis Supreme products, something that I love and enjoy, that were being sent out incomplete. Not worse built. They weren't falling apart. They weren't having major Armageddon level issues every time I turned around. No, it's the same thing it's been for 30-something years, 40-something years. It was the frustration was they were sending shit out without a complete unit. That was the biggest frustration. And then on top of that, they were sending units out with bad air conditioners, bad refrigerators. They knew they were bad, but they were shipping the unit anyway because the demand was so high, they just couldn't keep up. So it isn't that every unit built during COVID is a piece of crap. Don't buy a 2021 or 2022 used. It's a pile of shit. No, that is wrong. That is incorrect. It was incomplete, and the manufacturers, instead of slowing down and waiting for parts to arrive and just telling dealers, hey, you're shit out of luck, they were just shoving them out the door with incomplete appliances, incomplete things. So if you're told that a COVID unit is the worst unit ever built, or anything built after COVID has worse quality than what was built in the 1990s or the early 2000s, they're full of absolute shit. Tell you 100% right now. That is such baloney and bullcrap. 2026s are actually better quality units than 2006s. I have a 2006 Weekend Warrior. If you want to come down and see this fifth wheel toy hauler, which was considered one of the top of the line in the mid 2000s, and you compare it, heaven forbid, to a company that I don't like, Brinkley, I would take Brinkley over this Weekend Warrior any day of the week. They are better built over the last 20 years than they were 20 years ago. So stop lying for your clicks. Stop telling bull crap stories to get clicks. The second thing, the RV market is going to crash. Prices are going to get cut. This is intensified over the last 3 weeks. I have now seen 22 YouTube videos and 10 TikToks where guys have hundreds of thousands of views trying to convince people not to buy a new RV because prices are going to crash in the next 3 months. That is a complete fabrication and a complete lie. That is absolutely 100% a complete and utter disaster of a lie. Okay. Now, while the used RV market has losing value and depreciating, they're not appreciating, they're depreciating. So it's a depreciating asset. We just went back to normal depreciation on used in the last 2 or 3 years. The new RV market will do nothing but go up in price. Okay, so the way it was explained to me by a former, God rest his soul, president and CEO of a major RV company is the prices will never crash even in a bad economy. They will simply change gears and do something different because it is very, very uncommon knowledge that the original reason why you're able to get loans on a motorhome, a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, the reason why you're able to get 20-year terms, 15-year terms, is there's guarantees and insurance from the lenders because this is a toy. So let me use the car industry as an example. When you go buy a Toyota, you go buy a Lexus, you have Toyota Motor Credit because they have a privatized institution that does lending for Toyota, pre-owned and new. And sometimes they pick up other cars as well. GM Financial does Buick, Cadillac, GMC, Chevy, Ford Motor Credit. Everybody has some kind of lending institution. Hyundai Financial and Kia have the same lending institution. Honda, Nissan have their own lending institutions. So they can crash in price. And the reason why is because let's just use US Bank as an example. US Bank is one of the largest lenders of any kind of vehicle across the entire world, one of the largest in the world. If US Bank sees that the Honda Civic is having engine recall problems, they can go, nope, we're done. We're not lending on Honda ever. But it doesn't affect the ability for Honda to sell cars because Honda's financial company will continue to buy loans. The RV industry is all privatized lending through credit unions, banks, and alternate lenders. So if there is going to be a price crash on new RVs, lenders will simply stop lending. Case in point, 2008, 2009. Have prices gone up since the Great Recession or gone down? You already have your answer. They've slowly gone up. Now, COVID was a whole different animal. We don't need to talk about COVID. I'm talking about normal market. It will never go down. So, when did it go down? For some of you that are going, well, oh wait, I got a huge deal on a Beaver. Yes, bankrupt companies like Fleetwood, like Monaco, like, I don't know, American Coach, like Rexall Motorhomes. Sorry, Bill Rex, if you're watching. Okay, all these companies went out of business. So, of course, you could get pennies on the dollar for that coach. But now the lending institutions see that the majority of this is umbrella corporation. Umbrella corporation, which means guys like Doug Gettard, who's in charge of Forest River, Jeff Reynolds, who's in charge of Keystone, Bob Martin, who's in charge of all of Thor Industries, will continue to raise prices. By the way, if they do take a 2-month break from actually building RVs, then guess what happens? Less units come out, prices go up. So there will be no crash. If you guys want to save money on a new RV, anybody who predicts there's a crash on new RVs can't afford a new RV. Listen to my lips very carefully. You are a con artist who wants to sit there and tell people they shouldn't buy a new RV because you can't afford one. I'm going to make that very simple. Okay? So, at the end of the day, if you're a guy that can only spend $5,000 on a motorhome, stop telling people that you got the best deal on earth because you bought a $500,000 coach for $5,000. Yeah, you bought a 40-year-old Leakazoid that probably is falling apart. Stop telling people uneducated crap. I'm tired of hearing it. These are lies. Third lie, and this is probably the biggest lie, that manufacturers keep records and percentages of what failure rates are on different appliances and exterior seals and roof seals, things of that nature. No. They get together every couple years, look at the warranty parts, and they decide to go, oh, well, they covered the warranty. They didn't. It isn't percentage based. They look at a threshold. There is a threshold of how many warranty claims that were paid out on a certain appliance, on a certain type of wiring, on a certain type of plumbing. They don't keep a record. So when you got a guy that's a head of a private company that has overpriced fifth wheels and over exaggerated quality, and they go in cars that are like $100,000 and call people blowhards and crybaby that people are picking on his product, he does not know what the percentages of fifth wheels and trailers that leak. Just like Josh the RV nerd did not really know what the real percentage of frame failure was on Grand Design products. They don't keep track of those statistics. Warranty in the RV industry works completely different, absolutely 100% different than the car manufacturer. They don't look at percentages, because here's the difference. Let's say that they build 30 26 bunkhouses in a month, and they build 90 for the whole year for the whole United States. There's no way to know a percentage or track a percentage. What they simply do is, you got a GM of a factory and he says, you know what? We got 12 warranty claims in a month on XYZ refrigerator. We're going to stop ordering those refrigerators. We're going to find another OEM. We're going to find another partner. That's why sometimes you'll see in July a trailer, a Flagstaff or a Rockwood or Cougar or an Eagle or Brinkley or Grand Design will sit there and have one refrigerator, and then 4 months later it has a completely different one. Okay? It's the same thing about hot water heaters. It's the same thing about water pumps. It's the same thing about, cabinetry handles. It's the same thing about all this stuff. They don't keep track of percentages. Stop the baloney that, they track everything. No, they look at a month-to-month basis. What did they pay out in warranty, and why did they pay out in warranty? What failed? How did it fail? And did the manufacturer of that refrigerator, of that air conditioner, of that part actually back their own warranty? Okay, so that's a complete lie. The fourth lie that's really starting to piss me off is that dealerships in the Midwest or in the central US are better priced than the East Coast or West Coast dealers. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing just drive and fly to Ohio. If you live in a state like Washington, Florida, Georgia, California, your laws are different. When somebody tells you that, there's no lemon law in RVs, that's bullshit. There are lemon laws depending on the state you buy in. So if you're a California resident and you want to get on a plane and fly to Texas to buy a motorhome because, I'm going to get a better price, and you at the end of the day look at it and go, wow, I saved $3,500, but I have a lemon. Well, now you got to go back to Texas to lemon law it. Well, if you're a California resident and you bought in California, you're protected by California laws. If you are a Louisiana resident and you buy in Louisiana, you're protected by Louisiana law. If you go drive to Ohio, you got to go and deal with Ohio state law, which, by the way, has no lemon law on RVs. Indiana doesn't have any lemon law on RVs. So the closer you go to the factory, the higher the risk. You're not protected under those laws. So stop feeding into the bullshit that, oh, just go closer to the factory and you'll save thousands. That's simply not completely 100% accurate. It may appear that way because you're saving the freight charge that basically dealers in Nevada and Florida and New York and Alberta, Canada and Ottawa, Canada, you're saving all the freight charges that it takes to actually hook up the vehicle and take it to the dealership and their location. But now you have to deal with Indiana law, Ohio law, Michigan law. You no longer are dealing with a local state. By the way, it's the same thing in automotives. It's the same thing in boats. It's the same thing in anything you purchase. Stop lying to the consumer base with these BS. I'm tired of the clickbait bullshit. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm also sick and tired of some of these RV YouTubers that are over positive about this crap. I'm tired of hearing about people. It's crazy, and I know it's going to sound really just ridiculous, but I'm tired of these DIY people trying to convince you that they can run your air conditioner on very little solar and one little battery. Stop lying to people. I know for a fact that if you had 2,000 watts of solar and 4 300 amp hour lithium batteries in perfect condition with nothing else running, you could get about 5 hours on a 15,000 BTU air conditioner. 5 hours. Not running a fridge, not running lights, not running a water pump, not running a hot water heater, not running lights. Dark, completely dark. 5 hours. By the way, that whole setup, including the big inverter you need and the big batteries, runs about $35,000. Stop bullshitting people. I'm tired of hearing it. I actually met one of these jackasses. He built out a school bus. He stopped by a service center and couldn't understand why he couldn't get more than 6 hours. Spent $38,000 and could not 100% get the AC to stay on for more than 4 hours. We tried to explain it to him. He's one of the jackasses that made the video that goes, well, you don't need, here's how you do it completely off grid. Of course, I've got 1.8 million views at $5 per every 1,000 to lie to the RV community, to lie to the RV people. Solar is a lot like AI. Solar and the RV industry and artificial intelligence have something in common. You're 50 fucking years away from it doing what you want it to do. I don't care what jackoff comes online and says, in 5 years, every job's going to be wiped out by AI. That's clickbait, garbage, and crap. In 5 years, AI is going to make your life so much better and cheaper. Bull crap. Will it take away some jobs? Sure. Does RV solar work to do other things like working a blender or working a coffee machine or plugging in your laptop off grid and charging it? Yes. Is it going to run an AC and a microwave all day, all night? No. You still need a generator. Hold on, Dr. Evil. How about no? This is the problem and why we have such idiotic, moronic TikTokers and YouTubers. This is why the RV industry is so screwy when you got people that think they know what they're talking about, walk into a dealership, and then you hit them in the back of the head with what reality is, and it just deflates them. Because I won't lie. I won't tell people, oh yeah, I'll be like the Blue Compass and Camping World guys. Oh yeah, hey, you can go ahead and buy that trailer and run everything off solar. Really? I won't do it. I'm going to tell people how it is, how it works, and why it works. So that way I don't get the phone call later that goes, did you lie to those people just to make a sale? And have a Yelp review and a Google review? Won't do it. And I wish people would stop spreading rumors about me. I really would. I'm tired of it. I'm to the point I'm going to turn off my Instagram. 37 direct messages just this last week. People asking me if I'm going to take a job in Phoenix, Arizona. Asking me if Camping World is suing me. Asking me if Marcus Lemonis offered me a $2 million contract. I mean, it's like, stop spreading rumors about me. Just because you're upset at me because I speak the truth doesn't mean you have to spread crap about me. Just because you don't like me, because I make fun of the fact that you use the words innovative or use the words I've never seen it before. And by the way, it's not one person that does that, folks. There's probably about 30 of them that do that. Okay, so I'm not pointing my finger at one person. I'm tired. I'm tired of everybody doing shit for clicks and views. I'm tired of it. This is a great industry. This is a great community. This is a great lifestyle. This is something that is absolutely incredible to be a part of. This is not that world is falling. I'm tired of hearing Liz Amazing's videos, and every single time it's a Liz Amazing video, it's an Armageddon level problem. And when I talk to the dealership that the person's involved in and get the complete story, I'm like, just throw up my hands like, why are we not getting... Why is the dealer and the manufacturer not going to Liz and going, Liz, hello, you're not telling the whole story? They won't do it. They ignore her instead. And let me tell you this. I'm going to give Liz a lot of credit. Liz will talk to the manufacturers. Liz has no problem talking to manufacturers. She has no problem taking their side if they're in the right, I guarantee you. Even if it doesn't get her clicks and views, she'd still do it. But I'm sick and tired of the overblown positivity and the overblown negativity. It's just not good for the industry. It's not good for the community. It's not good for the lifestyle. It's not. Let's go back to the days when we actually talked about what an RV is capable of. Let's go back to talking about why it's important to go RV. Because only 1%, 1 freaking percent of people in the United States buy an RV every year. That's it. That's why you don't see RV channels have millions of subscribers. Because there's not that many people that do the lifestyle. So why would we bullshit those people? Why would we lie to those people? Why would we? Because we want clicks and money? Because we want attention? Because we want to give information that's wrong and false because we're angry, because we're mad, because we don't know what we're talking about, because we felt like we were screwed over by our neighbor, or screwed over by a dealer, or screwed over by a manufacturer? Because at the end of the day, we don't know how to take care of our shit. And if we take a look, I guarantee you half the people that bitch and complain about quality of an RV, if you go walk in their house, it's a disaster. You go look at their cars, it's a disaster. Not saying all, but I guarantee you half. Let's look at the people that are actually going online and telling people that things are going to crash and things are terrible. Their life is miserable. And misery loves company. And this over positivity is to sell you something. And that's in everything. It's not just the RV industry. It's in everything. Look at the dating world right now. Oh, I would never date ever again. Ever. Because the world sucks when it comes to dating. And you know what all these people try to sell you? They try to sell you all this bull crap on the internet. Ooh, I have a course how to teach you to be a better man. I have a course on how to make you the best YouTuber you've ever been. I have a course on how to create SEO content. I mean, it's just over positivity is a sales pitch on anything. Not just RVs, on cars. And the over negativity is to get attention and clicks and clickbait and money and things of that nature. You know what I've chosen to do on my second channel? I chose jokes. I chose to be funny. I chose to do things that are hilarious. Because I'd rather get paid making people laugh than get paid telling people a bunch of garbage malarkey. I'm tired of it, man. I'm just sick and fucking tired of it. I've had it. I got people mad because I give Grand Design credit when they actually do something right. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just keep my mouth shut and keep bashing Grand Design even when they do something right? Am I supposed to, if Brinkley does something right, I'm supposed to just slap Nate Goldenberg around for the rest of his life and never give him credit when they do something right? Am I supposed to sit there and pick a manufacturer and get down on my knees and, well, you can guess what I'm talking about there? No! The RV community and the RV industry in the world need a wake-up call as far as stop believing everything we read on the internet. Stop watching videos that may or may not be true. Stop believing the guy that takes a photograph next to a Ferrari like this, like, yeah, you could be rich like me. Or sit next to a freaking 42-foot, $200,000 mobile suites and sit there and go, this could be you, my $400,000 setup. I mean, I'm $380,000 in debt in it, and I barely make any money, so I'm going to lie on YouTube about what's going on in the industry so that way I can pay my bills. I mean, that's the crap that we have to deal with. And it's bled from our everyday life of guys promising that you're going to get rich off Amazon, rich off Spotify, rich off this. I got a way to make you rich, folks. All you got to do is pay $3,995, and I'm going to personally teach you how to make money on Amazon. Or how all these guys are overblowing artificial intelligence's actual capabilities. ChatGPT even knows it's not that smart. Go ask it. Sintra AI has probably been the most useful tool I have had and I use. But it doesn't do everything. It saves me about 2 hours a day. That's all it does. It gives me 2 extra hours a day. And for $10 a month, I'll take it. I'll use it. It's like all these Tesla robots. The Tesla robots are going to take over manufacturing jobs. When? They can barely function in somebody's house. We are years away from all this futuristic crap they talk about. But let's do Diary of a CEO and clickbait the guy who sits there and says it's going to be AI Armageddon in 2030. Really? Where did you come up with that shit? What, magically in 5 years AI is going to expand bigger than it has in the last 10? I'm tired of hearing everybody's baloney and malarkey. I'm tired of hearing every single person on the internet spewing out garbage. I have bad breath. People actually can stand me talking even with my bad breath. These people spew toxic waste. So until next time, remember, RV always stands for toolkit and sense of humor.